More cat food? Okay. Okay, thank you. Finn. Finny. I have always struggled with resetting the garden, pulling all the stuff out that is still kind of producing. Like, all these amazing violets have been so good for us. We've made violet lemonade, violet Play-Doh, violet jelly, and simple syrup all season long, and it's been wonderful. And they're still producing, and they will continue to produce. The only problem is that you can't even tell I planted a spring garden in this bed. I was supposed to have vegetables and not just these beautiful flowers. Now, this garden season started out amazing. We had so much stuff that we did, and we started harvesting things, and then we just got this crazy hot weather. We got super busy, and for about the last month or so, I just haven't really been able to even get out here. And unfortunately, on June 28th, we got a killing frost. Like, it killed all of the tomatoes, most of the pumpkins, almost all of the corn, and it just is what it is. And then we got really bad voles in the garden, and we kept trying to use these different traps, and I wanted to film it because I wanted it to be successful, and it wasn't, and we just couldn't get on top of it. The cats finally did get it, and then we were able to catch another one, and it was huge. And right now I'm working on catching a third one in a different space, but I can't tell you that the traps I've been using, which are called the black hole, I can't tell you that they're very successful. Right now, at the end of July, in our cold climate, we're expecting our first frost toward the end of August, and it's time. If we want to end the garden season, we could end it right here and right now, and we could say we're all done for the year, and we could give up and say, well, oh well, that was a bust. Or we can do something better than that, and we can say it's time for a fall garden to be planted. So I've been working in this kitchen garden here on revamping it and pulling out some stuff, finding if there's any life left in here whatsoever. I did find some celery that's thriving. I found some tiny little Swiss chard that are in there, and I unburied these peppers, and I was able to pull all the garlic out of there, which was finished. We got a pretty good crop. And then unfortunately, this has happened 2 years in a row now, and I thought I was doing a good job on it, and then suddenly this bed just tanked. And you can see it's really dry, all wilted. It's nice and cold this morning. It's about 60 degrees right now, and this bed should be really happy. So I had been watering a couple different ways. I have micro sprinklers for kind of the food forest section of this garden, and then I've been using just this fan sprinkler here to help get these raised beds more saturated, because using a hand wand, it just doesn't do the trick. So I'm not sure why that bed didn't get saturated. It could have been when I was on a trip. I took a vacation. Found myself this year very tired. I was sick for most of June, and then we went straight into the Modern Homestead conference, which was wonderful, but I experienced a lot of exhaustion after that, and I just felt like afterwards I just really needed to rest. And so I ended up taking a nice little vacation and getting that deep rest that I really did need. And so right now I'm kind of finishing up that rest season and trying to decide what the rest of this year is going to look like, as far as lots of different aspects of my life goes. So one of those things and one of those pieces is this garden. I love this garden. Hang on one second. I love this garden. I love being out here, but until about 5 minutes ago, I couldn't even come in and sit on this bench, which I love so much. So I finally decided it was time to get the kids helping me outside, getting some things managed on the farm, and getting out here and resetting this garden. And I'm so glad that I did. So we will be planting vegetables today. I don't know that it's going to happen today. I'm going to finish up. I have to try to get around that bed, and I have one more bed out here that I'm gonna pull everything out of, but I'd kind of like to take you guys along for what we're planting out here. So I think what I'm gonna do is finish this morning. We have a lot of yellow jackets, and let's see, I think I can get footage of one right now. So we have lots of different bees going on here in the garden. That right there, that's a friendly bee. We like those ones. They don't usually bother us. That's a bumblebee. And we have, of course, Ben's honeybees coming around. But then we have yellow jackets, which you see right there, and bald-faced hornets, which are right there. So you can see both of those on the screen. Those are both extremely aggressive. And they're not bees, they're actually just wasps. They're predators. Now, they do help the garden. They're great because they eat bad bugs, but they're not nice. And when it gets hot and dry, like we have had record-breaking temperatures in our area for quite a while now, these guys, they get really aggressive. Like I've got one chasing me right now. They get really aggressive, and we've already had 3 bee stings in the last week between 2 of my kids, and they weren't doing anything. They just were sitting out in the yard. So we try to get out in the garden, and we start work, and we work until the bees kind of wake up a little bit. The morning times are so chilly right now. It's really great for working in. It's like 50 degrees in the mornings, and then as soon as it warms up, those bees get active again, and they start coming out, and they start going after us. So we try to get our jobs done. Sounds like the cat caught a mouse. Good kitty. They're doing a good job right now. Yep, there he is. Good boy. Such a good kitty. Cats are so mean. He'll handle it. He brought it to me. That was a good kitty. I tend to struggle with getting these beds cleared out. And the reason is because there's usually still productive things. There's usually things that are still kind of growing. But the thing is this, is that if I don't choose to pull this stuff out of here now, then I'm not going to harvest anything this fall. So we can be planting all the cold loving crops again, lettuces, salad greens, things like that. As we like to plant stir fry greens, and really, these plants, especially in this bed, they will not allow that growth to happen. And so my job is to come through here and rip this stuff out and find to see, I know I can see some carrots in here, see if I can get those growing again, and then just start over. And sometimes, and I do this in my life too, I leave things in that I think are going to turn out fine, and I let them go for too long. And really, I just should have pulled them out before then. And I don't know if you guys struggle with that or not. Let me know down in the comments. And how do you choose to get over that? So for me, I just have to like rip it off like a band-aid. I just have to come out here and set my mind to it and decide this is what I'm doing. And so that's what I'm doing today. I am getting out here finally and getting on with this. And what I am finding is that as I'm doing the thing, so like this morning, I really struggled to, like, I'm struggling with motivation and I'm struggling with joy in my life right now. And when you struggle with those things, it can look like you not wanting to get out of bed in the morning. It can look like you feeling very depressed and low in your life. And the thing you need to do is the exact opposite of what you want to do. And so today my alarm went off at 5 o'clock and I did not want to get out of my bed, but I chose discipline. I chose to get up, get started, and get on with my day. And what I have found is I'm taking each step. I had my tea, I did my Bible reading, I did my workout this morning, and then now I have gotten all 3 of my kids out in the garden and doing different jobs, and all of the chores have gotten done this morning. It's still nice and early, and I've gotten most of this garden accomplished, and I feel so much better. So sometimes you just have to change the momentum and the direction that you're going in, and as you take those little steps one at a time, you find you do a little bit better for taking the next step and the next step and the next step. It gets a little easier. So I hope that's helpful for you this morning. I'm going to keep on working on this so that I don't lose that momentum. Here's the wild garden, and this is what I'm walking through right now. So I just wanted to share that with you guys, and that's kind of where I'm at today. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I will have a garden tour coming out very soon through the wild jungle. We do have some really cool production going on, like something that is so wonderful and I'm really excited is these boysenberries behind me are like doing the best they've ever done. Ever. So that I am really excited for. I've been watering this garden more than I ever have, and finally I've built up such a huge deposit of good healthy soil. I think it's finally paying off. It only took 6 years, but you gotta start somewhere, and if you don't start, you never get to the 6-year mark. So I'm pretty excited about that. But I will include up close videos and footage of all of this stuff and tell you a little bit about what we have going on, as well as what we're going to be planting out in this garden in the video coming up real soon. When I first started this garden, and the rule was no major volunteers. And the reason I said that is because I wanted this area that was expensive to put together to be as productive as possible. And while I love volunteers, they are mostly not vegetables. They're mostly flowers in my garden, and there's nothing wrong with that. They're beautiful. As you guys have seen this garden growing throughout the year, you can tell they're so pretty. And some things are herbs like dill and auric and things like those, and they're wonderful, but they tend to take over, and they take over in a big way, which was what happened in this garden. So I let a few things go for the season, and then they ended up just choking out this whole bed. So while it is so hard to be able to get this done and ripped out, I find that it is better to stick to those hard, fast rules. And honestly, I have to do the same thing. As I'm learning to have boundaries and I'm learning to implement them in my life, then sometimes I slide back into old habits, and sometimes I have to come back to that place where I was implementing those healthy boundaries and say, okay, it's time to get back there. It's time to do that again. And you can take that for anything, whether you're implementing boundaries, you're ripping out garden beds or putting in gardens, or if you're simply trying to eat a healthier diet, or things like that, like you're trying to exercise and you slide back into old routines. You can always get back on the wagon. You can always start again, because every day is a new day, and I'm really thankful for that. So as you can see, these bees are getting a little bit out of control here. So I'm going to get out of this garden space And I will see you guys again really soon. Thank you for joining me. Don't forget to learn and grow.